beautiful evening. It's your favorite, the conservation diva, and I am back as usual with a live video. And yes, guys, from the last video, if you haven't watched my last video, please tune in, check out the last video, and hear about from my transition from plants to animals love. And so today, I just want us to continue to episode 2 of my conservation story. And yes, guys, guess what? Today it's all about my passion, hatred for my transition from a college cool kid all the way to a hopeless field worker. And I say cool kid, I mean a cool kid. So now this is the thing. The last episode, we left it at the point when I told you guys that for you to do conservation, then basically you have to be so passionate about it. You have to have pure and full love for conservation field for you to be able to do conservation as a whole. So now here is me in the university. Actually, we were never told anything about if you do conservation or if you study range job, you're gonna have to be, your work is mostly going to be in the field, even though it always hit my mind like, yo, Muffin conservation, I tell you what, animals are not in offices and plants are not in offices, but it never hit me so hard that one day I'd have to, get into that field where I have to go to the field, I have to work in the field, and I have to stay out all day in the field with gumboots. So now this is it, guys. Sit down, sit back, relax, and listen. Let me even fold my shirt up. So now I finish my university and I go for attachment. Now at my attachment, of course, it was way easy because we had lots of people working there and it wasn't as much field work. Most of it was office work actually, which never actually enlightened me even a bit. How? Why am I saying so? When I was at my attachment, I only went for field work once for identification of plants, trees, and of course the whole of flora and probably a little bit of fauna, maybe animals a little and plants a little. Now that wasn't the deal breaker. Now the deal breaker came when I left attachment and now I had to move home. And then when I moved home, I had to find an internship. Of course, you all know success begins from one step, and that means for you to be employed, especially when you're working in the conservation field, you first have to go for an internship for you to get a job. So this is what happened. In my home county, actually we only have like one conservation area, which is known to be Roma, and so there's not much of conservation going on there. And then I didn't want to work in my county, personal reasons. So I applied for internship and I happened to internship in one of these amazing organizations. Guess what my expectations was? One, when you're a conservationist and you apply for internship, you mostly in most of the organization, especially private entities, you always given accommodation and food. And as an intern, of course, you don't expect much pay because anywho's, what's the whole sense of internship? It's more of you being a volunteer somewhere. But that wasn't a big deal because I had it in my mind that being an intern, you don't expect no salary, so it wasn't on my mind. Now this is what was on my mind. I'm gonna be an intern, and I was thinking that my job as an intern would almost be the same thing as my job when I was in the attachment. I was mostly in procurement, office, storekeeping, HR. I wasn't really a lot in the field. Now here I come as an intern. In case the welcoming, you see the photo I've put on my thumbnail on this other side. At a girl, I woke up in the morning, I dress to my best dress, and then I go and I'm told, actually my first day we had a field emergency. So I'm told like, yo, we're going on the field. Guess what? Your girl is on a dress. So what is gonna happen? I go back to my room to change into a trouser and then heading out. Oh my god, it was a rainy season. So my first experience after we came back from the field, we were rained on thoroughly, that I got all soaked up, my clothes were all soaked up, my shoes, and then I had this dust coat on me. So first I'm on a dust coat, and I might say I wasn't really comfortable because one, I'm not used to this type of thing. I'm not used to this type of environment at all. But now I just have to get myself used to it. The second thing is I am new to this environment, and my first day there's a field emergency, and then within the field emergency I am rained on thoroughly. So now look at this crazy woman. I'll see people wearing gumboots and full uniform, and I'm like, you guys, you don't get tired with your gumboots all day and your hot clothes, because of course they had long sleeved tops. So I'm like, you guys don't get tired with long sleeve t-shirts and gumboots all day, especially when it's raining. And then one of the guys laughed at me and told me, we used to eat. And I was like, you used to eat? I can't do such. The next day, the same weather, and I am in my sport shoes. In fact, this time a white sport shoes. Hey, and then I'm like, no, I need gumboots. So I'm given gumboots. I looked at myself in the mirror. One, in university we used to make up, we used to lipstick, we used to being beautiful all the time, we used to pedicure, we used to, slay mama, cool kid. And then now you come to the field where you don't even have time for makeup. Your hair can literally stay up here for like 2 months because you don't even have that time to go make your hair. And even if you have, you're like, it's just field work hair. What do I do that is so special? Yet all my life, or better part of my time, I spend it in the bush. So look, I had passion. I'm not saying I did not have passion. I did have passion even at this particular time. But then the passion is flying away slowly by slowly because I feel like the world is crumbling apart. I can't be I can't be getting rained on. I can't stay on gumboots all day. First they're heavy. I'm not used to that type of life, and I'm not in no makeup. And then I'm like, I can't also be just there, so I had to work. The transition wasn't one of the easiest transitions. I think hell. I literally called mommy and I told mommy, if you hear me, I've come back home. Just know that nilishinda, like I couldn't make it at all. And then mommy is like, okay, if you feel that's how if that's how you feel, then girl, you're always welcome home. So I tell myself, hi, if mommy has said I'm always welcome home, who am I? Who are me? Who are me? Yet mommy has said I'm always welcomed home. So the first week goes by, the second week goes by, and then the third week I start adapting. But even in the adaptation, guys, it wasn't easy because the work was different. Most of it is field work, either collecting trees, doing treatment, sampling animals, or you're doing monitoring. And the shifts were turning me crazy for the first 2 weeks. Imagine working from 6 all the way to 8. The shifts were running me crazy. But then at the end of the day, I said, what? Hard work pays. I can't go back home and sit with my mommy, yet she has sacrificed herself and paid for my school fee. And now what am I going to do? Sit with her home and tell her, mommy, no, I didn't choose the right thing. I sacrificed. I became resilient. I persisted, and I knew at the end of the day it's gonna pay. And I sacrificed myself, sacrificed my flesh. And guess what? Today I'm the happiest because I think the whole transition was there for a purpose. Even though I hated better part of the transition because it made me feel terrible, but I tell you what, so the next episode, when I'll be telling you my transition of bouncing back and how it really happened after like 2 months, you will be surprised. You will be really surprised. The first month and the second month, I almost even went back home. I almost went back home. It was crazy. Yeah, so my transition was like that. It wasn't the most smooth. It wasn't the most easiest. And again, I was in a land where it was more of a different ethnic groups. I couldn't understand better, and then having English as my first language wasn't easy as well. Associating and interacting, even though I was an extrovert, wasn't the number one thing because it was really, really hard as it is. So, but guess what? Your girl is here, your girl is happy, taking care of animals, taking care of nature. And I tell you what, in the next episode, I'll tell you how the transition all happened. Thank you so much for tuning into my live video. Thank you for watching. I love and appreciate you. Thank you for 25.1k subscribers. Hope we grow and go higher. Of course, it's your usual conservation diva. See you on the next episode. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you. Bye. Oh my god.